Maybe. There it goes. We are live. Welcome, everybody, to MLB Live Before Lock, presented by Stokastic. I'm Eric Lindquist. You can follow me at Eric Lindquist. I'm going to be your tour guide over this next 39 minutes that we got going up until the lock of the DraftKings and FanDuel slates. And I'm joined, like I've been all week long, by my good friend Matt Bellman, Fantasy Tips Matt over on X. Go give him a follow while you're at it. We were able to make a little bit of money together in the betting streets, thanks to your expertise and talking through a little situation yesterday. How you doing, my dude?
I am doing well. Had that early slate still going on because of the Phillies White Sox game, and I did not play that game. Don't know if you played that slate, but excited to talk over this nice little 6-gamer we got tonight.
I did not. I usually have like a early morning meeting, and then you just kind of
that's early for you too.
Husband responsibilities, and you know, I'm always the morning dog walker, so I'm always walking my 105-pound bear on a leash, like walking him around in the early morning. Got to beat the heat, my friend. Got to beat the heat. But 6 games. How is the early slate going for you here? Might as well have a little sweat while we're going on. You have anything good?
It's going okay. I have one lineup that's doing decent, but probably will fall because this Philly game was very risky as to whether it was going to play. It's much lower owned because of that, but it's still kind of owned. And it just first pitch was at 5:45 in a game that was supposed to start at 2:10. So we'll see.
Fuck you, Larry C. Lindy trying to sound manly. I am manly, okay? Very manly. That's all I had to say about that. Anyway, hit that like button as we begin this lovely program. Anything you want to bring up here on this 6-gamer? Because I obviously have my batch of lineups here. I'm going to favorite my top 150 here as I was running a couple of these through. But anything stand out to you? Because on these smaller slates, you find some spots where we can get some leverage. Hi, Nathan Evaldi. How are you this fine day?
We certainly do. There's a couple pitchers getting a lot of love, and while they're good, they're mostly getting a ton of ownership because of just the context of the slate. So, yeah, bunch of good leverage spots, bunch of good spots overall. Excited to break it down with you.
I'm excited too, and I'm excited to share this with you as well. If you guys would like to get the sims that I'm going to be sharing throughout this program for the MLB for the next month, and trust me, the next month, it's going to be awesome. MLB, we're going to have full MLB, NFL preseason, everything rocking, and I'm excited, you're excited, we're excited, but this will lead you up. If you get 1 month now by signing up at any of these lovely sites, you're going to get yourself a month of the Sims. That's MLB DFS. It'll run you all the way up to NFL. And if you set up for 2, you could have MLB DFS and then turn that over once September 4th hits for that opening Thursday night football game. You could turn that into NFL. So sign up for 1, maybe 2 of these sites, and you'll have the Sims for 2 full months. You could go MLB into NFL. Great opportunity right now. This is going to be going on for the next month or so. So take advantage now. I'm sure we'll have something leading into the NFL season. But for the time being, MLB DFS, it's king in town. Let's party. All righty, y'all. Let's begin our boarding walk with some chalky pitchers. Good Lord Almighty. We have an expensive pitcher in Nathan Evaldi pulling all the ownership in all the land. In fact, let me see what his most recent number is because I had 45%. I think it's gone up since then here in my sheet. So I'm updating this, taking it from the top pitchers tool, 48.6%. Ding, 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 ding. That is a big number on a Nathan Evaldi who has some revamped strikeout stuff, and it's the best strikeout matchup you could humanly possibly ask for in 50 million years. I'm just going to leave him as the main conversation piece because he's up there on an island at 10-5. What are you doing with him in your limited lineups?
Yeah, I like him a lot. So regardless of how much I personally play him, he's a really good play here. He's the top pitcher on the slate, over-owned, but we often see that with the top pitcher on the board on every slate. So tonight wouldn't be an exception, and I'm not surprised it's not an exception. He looks like the best option overall to me. Him and Wu are the 2 best arms, pretty undoubtedly. Wu's in a tougher spot. I mean, for sure. They're both getting a lot of ownership. I mean, they're pretty comparable. I like Evaldi more. The field likes Evaldi more, but I think those 2 guys are obviously got to be clumped together because they're getting so much ownership. Yeah, I like Evaldi a lot here. Like, over-owned, but there's a reason he's got a 35% chance of being a top 2 pitcher tonight.
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, he looks phenomenal in a lot of ways. Nathan Eovaldi, 35% top 2 percentage. It's just a little bit higher than Brian Wu, but the risk of ruin, I think this is probably the thing that we don't talk about enough. I know I say that probably like once a show now these days. It's like, oh, this talking point, that talking point. But let's say that Nathan Eovaldi puts up his projection, 17 fantasy points. Let's say Brian Wu puts up 21 fantasy points. Oh my God, you're going to want Brian Wu, obviously, but you got to get the bats right too. And that's the thing, is like the risk of ruin for Nathan Eovaldi in this spot is not nearly what Brian Wu's is. And I think that's why we're seeing the Sims lean towards the Nathan Eovaldi side a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Hang on 1 second. God, my dog. Come on, buddy. You're fine. Just had to turn off the camera quick. Just tap him on the nose. You're fine. Just say, God, dude. Don't mind me. Why don't you talk to the people about Brian Wu here while my dog quits eating his paw? Don't eat your own paw. That's not what we do.
No, it's not. So, yeah, I mean, similar to Eovaldi, like also risky here. More risky than Eovaldi. Wu is a guy, much like all these Seattle pitchers, benefits greatly from pitching in Seattle, and now he is pitching in maybe the best or a top 3 hitters park in baseball. So certainly have to downgrade him for that. On a big slate, I think he would be falling through the cracks here, not getting a ton of love. He's good enough where he'd be getting some no matter what. But tonight, it's him, Eovaldi, and then a huge drop. So makes sense to me why he's really popular. I feel better about Eovaldi, but I also don't feel like I think fading both of them is in play on this slate. Like, you're certainly not going to feel comfortable with your pitching options at that point, but like the spots are risky enough with Eovaldi and Wu where it wouldn't surprise me if neither one of them was that good.
Yeah, I think like a 5-2-1, 5-3 of the version that you're talking about there, where you just go ultimate leverage against both pitchers. I think that's very live. In fact, I'm playing single entry and I'm playing 20 lineups today. So playing a little bit of both. Then I'm going to go hang out with my guy, Rinpack. That is going to be enjoyable this evening. Shout out
nice.
Rinpack.
You kind of took it a step farther than me. I was just saying you don't have to play the pitchers, but you're saying you want to use
I'm looking
against them.
I get it. I'm looking at the full leverage because there's one pitcher down here in Will Warren against Tampa Bay. And where was the comment that I saw? Eric at least pronounces Eovaldi correctly. I like that comment, but it was basically being like, that's a lot of Will Warren. Yeah. Will Warren is fascinating here. You get Brandon Lau back, which is obviously not good for the earn runs potentially here for a Will Warren, but the guy's got a 26.7% K rate, and he's in less than a quarter of lineups on a 6-game slate. And Jose Soriano against Texas. I don't find this Texas lineup all that imposing on a day-in, day-out basis. Corey Seager looks like he's back up to his old tricks. I know your tricks, Dewey. That's a great movie, by the way. But Jose Soriano, I think his strikeout stuff has been better over the course of the last few months in a way where, like, you've seen some pronounced upside for him at home. It's not a great ballpark to be pitching in by any means, but he's an extreme ground ball pitcher, and you just need to not keep that line moving. I think there's ways where we can get away from these guys. I don't think that's going to be with Shohei Ohtani, who's still limited. I don't think that's going to be with Jeffrey Springs, who I think gets his face blown off. But like Will Warren and Jose Soriano, how do you plan to handle those two? Because they're way down in salary.
So I like Soriano. I think both of them are wildly in play. I don't think they're that different, like, at all. I personally like Soriano a little bit more. Little bit put off by Warren recently, and I think the spot is just tougher here. That said, it's a similar spot. I mean, Texas and Tampa both, Tampa's been better this year, but ultimately, if you stack these lineups side to side, I think Texas still has a slightly better lineup. So good hitting weather for both. I think both of them are the next two options after Wu and Eovaldi. I don't feel great. Like, I feel good about Eovaldi and Wu. I don't feel great about either of them, but I feel good about them relatively. Warren and Soriano, I feel okay about.
Yeah, I think Warren and Soriano kind of just make me feel better about the opportunity to get away from Eovaldi, because
that's fair. You
feel
better about them just because you're not playing. Yeah, I get it.
If he puts up a nuke, if he puts up 30, yeah, I'm probably in a lot of trouble in single entry, but you get a completely different roster construction. You're saving $3,000, almost $3,000 going down to Will Warren, exactly 2,500 going down to Jose Soriano. There's just a world where I think that you want to get to a little bit of a different build, especially in single entry with some of the weather in some of these spots. Yeah, Tampa Bay, New York, 86, 64% humidity, but at least the winds flip back around. It's been such an insane hitting environment the last couple days. Hasn't necessarily shown out all the time, but it's good. It's always going to be a good ballpark, even in the winter. When you get into the Marches and the Octobers, God forbid the Yankees are playing baseball in October. I can't deal with the fan base anymore, but that's neither here nor there. Interesting spot with Ben Rice batting second there for them today against Zach Littell. And that begins our next conversation. Zach Littell, I'm completely out on for the most part. I just don't think there's any strikeout equity. And even on a 3-4 game slate, I would be trepidatious about playing a completely unknown Zach Littell, but especially on this one, I think we have enough options that I'm not going to be going there. Shohei Ohtani brought it up. He's limited. Jeffrey Springs, though, boy, oh boy, that's a lot of ownership. That's a lot of ownership on Jeffrey Springs at the moment. We are 3xing Jeffrey Springs against Seattle. That is nutso. But hey, the Sims tool, it's got a mind of its own. It's smarter than all of us. Matt, are you on board with any Jeffrey Springs in large, well, I guess small field for you, GPP is high stakes?
Well, if I were playing enough lineups, yeah. If I were playing 10 lineups, I'd have a Springs, but okay. I'm not, so I won't play him. If I were playing 150, I'd certainly be over the field. He's the most leveraged pitcher on the slate, or right there as the most leveraged pitcher on the slate. He's been actually good at home, which I don't know if I expect to continue, but he's not a bad pitcher. Interesting to me that the Sims are giving so much because they're also giving Seattle because Seattle's the top stack overall. So maybe a both sides are here.
Yeah, it's definitely a both sides there. I think that's kind of really what's bearing out. And we'll get into the stacks. I don't want to click the stack exposure because I don't want people to be looking ahead yet. I want you to be able to pay for that content and take advantage of it, or the link join, as I talked about. That is down in the video description box below. Click on that, click it, tickle it, see about fast. And we're not going to do that today. This is a professional 40-minute show, Matt Bellman. Even though I like making you smile, it makes me happy. But we got other pitching options way down in the doldrums. People are asking about weather. This is the part where we talk about weather. Miles Mikolas, Cal Quantrill, they are horrendous, the likes of which the world's never seen before. Is it a great ballpark? No. But I have zero interest in playing either of them. I do think it's interesting with Miami. I can't believe they have a 4 implied run total in Vegas. If you're on your phone right now, 4.5 alt numbers are plus money on Miami to the over with Miles Mikolas on the mound. That's a spicy meatball. Just throwing it out there. We cashed one yesterday on the fly on this program with the, what was it? It was the over earn runs. Who was that for? I can't even remember. I made the bet with you on this. Sonny Gray over hits, 5.5 hits. Miles Mikolas, I think over 2.5 earn runs, or just to the alt number on Miami looks phenomenal today. We have nobody coming in with ownership on either of them, but Kyle Freeland, well, he's the opposite of free. 6K is still paying something. He's the cheapest pitcher on the slate. I don't know if I can go crazy with that. I understand the logic for it, but what are you doing? Oh, I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. I just clicked buttons just like an idiot. What are you doing with these cheapies? Are any of them cracking your limited lineups?
Freeland. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to put it, this Cleveland lineup stinks. Cleveland is just in shambles with probably trading Quan, Clase, Luis Ortiz. I'm not afraid to use pitchers against them. I was on Freeland last start, and he was horrendous early, but really settled down. Actually ended up being okay in that start against Baltimore. He's gone deep a bunch recently. He's too cheap for a guy that has clear length on a slate with expensive bats. So, yeah, I'm in on Freeland here. It doesn't feel good, but talked about how I don't really love the pitching on this slate. So in situations like that, I never mind just spending down.
Because he's hung?
Yeah, something like that.
He has length. He's pitching in your city. You could go influence the game.
I could.
You could go do something. Kyle, you suck. Kyle, you suck. You offer nothing of value. Now I want to watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall. See where my brain's going today? This is what happens on a 6-game slate where I'm hosting. It's not good. It's not good. but there's very limited things to talk about here. We have Nathan Eovaldi. He's in about half the lineups. He should be in about half the lineups. Brian Wu, he's a little bit overowned by our estimation. I don't think he's a problem. It just kind of depends on what else is showing up for the rest of your lineup. So I don't know. You prefer, though, Kyle Freeland over going to Jeffrey Springs. I know it's a $1,200 difference, but like, if I'm going cheap, I'm just probably going to click on Jeffrey Springs. I liked him in Tampa Bay once upon a time. This ballpark sucks, but the leverage you could get on Seattle stacks is pretty gigantic.
I don't disagree if you're just looking at it like 1-per-1. But part of the reason I want to spend down is to stack Seattle. So like at that point, it kind of takes Springs out of the equation. But if I'm making just a lineup and I'm not looking to stack Seattle and I can use either of them, I like Springs more. Yes.
That's fair. Oh, man. I don't really have anything else to talk about on the DraftKings side. In single entry, I think my combination is going to end up being Soriano Warren, and God rest my soul.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, mine might be Freeland Soriano in single entry. So depends on, the stack situation.
Well, go Bats. That's the way you and I are looking at this slate. If we get some of these crappers that are showing up, and obviously they've been simming out better in recent weeks. I mean, we've had some 2K pieces of value, but I'll get into that here in a second. Let's jump over to the single lineup simulator like we've done the last couple of days. Let's give the FanDuel people what they want. And what they want is to know which pitchers to be going to. And I did run a couple of lineups beforehand, but nearly half the lineups are showing up with Eovaldi and Wu. Then you get into the Warren Soriano mix. I like them a little bit more on DK. On FanDuel, where you're only rostering one, you're basically asking for one of these two guys to get completely wrecked. And it's so easy to get to some of the bats that we want to with like no Aaron Judge. You just go to the utility spot and look at this. I find this to be a little bit fascinating. The most expensive bat we have is Shohei Ohtani, who you can play on FanDuel. You can't play him on DK. Riddle me that, Batman. Cal Raleigh and Nick Kurtz is your third most expensive bat going up against Brian Wu. What a time to be alive. Everything else is 4K and down. It's a very easy slate to play with what you want, what you really, really want. So I'm going to tell you what you want, what you really, really want. And that's to play Nathan Eovaldi in cash and to play Nathan Eovaldi if you're playing one lineup in tournaments. What say you, Matt Bellman?
Yeah, I agree. Pricing is a little bit more condensed. I like Eovaldi more than Wu. I think you can make the case for Freeland because all the pitchers aren't good. And on FanDuel, he can get you the quality start, like not easily, but like he's got length. So
yeah, he does.
I mean, he does. So Eovaldi, it's the same group for me. Eovaldi, Soriano, Wu. Those are the guys I like. I don't like Soriano as much on FanDuel.
I don't hate the Freeland shout out. I think that that's actually a pretty sharp shout out. And it looks like the field's kind of acknowledged that to some extent. 8K for Will Warren up here, pulling quite a bit of ownership. And then the most owned pitcher below it, Martinez, Freeland, Quantrill, Allard, who's going to pitch like in inning. If you guys are on the free picks tab over at OddsShopper, go to the expert picks page. We're putting free plays in there. I gave out a single game parlay that isn't even available on Fliff anymore. I ended up just parlaying all the unders of Colby Allard, who might just pitch an inning. He pitched 2 days. He pitched on the 27th. So he's pitching on 28th, 29th, 2 days rest. And now, I mean, the books hung up like 3.5 strikeouts, 2.5 strikeouts, 3.5 hits, 1.5 earned runs. I just jammed the 3 of them under at plus 340. It feels pretty sharp in that capacity. We're throwing out the freebies for the people there. Feel pretty good about that one, but I think your Kyle Freeland shout out on FanDuel is actually pretty sharp.
He's super duper cheap.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good shout out, but we'll be able to have time to build over on DK, over on FanDuel. We're at the halfway point of our show already. That's what happens when you have a turbo show like this. 40 minutes. Hit that like button for me. If not for me, hit it for Matt Bellman. And if not for Matt Bellman, do it so that Greg doesn't end up on shows. Oh, wait, he's the boss. Never mind. Portfolio EV, friends, 7-day free trial for all new users. Would love to see you guys over at Portfolio EV taking advantage. Yeah, we got the MLB still rocking for you. 7-day free trial that you can check out. But the NFL is obviously fast approaching. Very curious. What's going to start popping up as we start seeing more and more props drop? You want to get notified whenever new plays, expected value is popping up? Well, you can get those sent directly to your phone from the app. You want to have certain alerts put in. You want to have certain thresholds with your portfolios, what's available in your state, even in states like California and Texas and Florida, where it's a monopoly. So many opportunities, friends. So few days left in 2025. Get your 7-day free trial. See what all the fuss is about for Portfolio EV, multiple sports, multiple angles, multiple ways to help you guys make some dollars. And that's really what it's all about. Let's make some dollars in the stack section. Friends. On DK today, it gets a little bit dicey, like really, really dicey in the stack department, I think. Now, there are lots of good viable stacks, but if you had to make one stack to rule them all and one stack to find them, Matt Bellman, what would yours be today? Because mine is disgusting.
Yeah, 3 teams come to mind when you ask me that. So I'm going to say Seattle because they look the best on paper, but I have 2 other teams that I like almost as much. But Seattle is, I think, the overall top stack on the board.
You ready for this? I don't think you are. Cleveland Guardians against your Kyle Freeland is the number 1 owned stack in my 150. Again, I'm playing 20 lineups. I've already uploaded them, so I will finagle with them after the show if need be. But Cleveland's my highest owned stack. I really like the idea of getting to Kyle Freeland here. And Kyle Freeland's the one guy that I've kind of like backed at times, but think about what else exists on this slate. And I think the top stacks tool is kind of bearing this out. We have the Dodgers. We have Seattle pulling so much ownership, but also the Yankees and Tampa Bay are both pulling a lot of ownership. They're negatively leveraged, whereas the Dodgers and Seattle positively leveraged. I think in small field, those two really get pushed up. And I think you could be getting a very, very low-owned Cleveland team against not just Kyle Freeland, but the Colorado bullpen after the fact. This is just an interesting spot. And also, would you like to remind me? It's been hot there. It kind of cooled down for the most part in this spot. I'm looking around the industry, and there aren't a ton of projection spots high on Cleveland. They could be really low-owned in small field, Matt.
Yeah, I think they'll be low owned, although they're an easy team to stack with. They're going to be low owned. You know what? There's no doubt about it. They're going to be low owned. Jose Ramirez will get love because he projects so well. Correct. And you can fit him, but as a stack, they're going to be low owned. No doubt about it. So I'm with you. I mean, I don't love Freeland because he's a great pitcher. I love him because he's 6K and a good matchup. So, like, you could flip that around and say you like Cleveland because they're cheap and a good matchup. No issues with it at all. I mean, I totally get it, and I noticed that with the Sims. They were pushing Cleveland pretty hard. It makes sense because Wu and Eovaldi project so much better than every other pitcher that the Sims are obviously pushing a lot of those two, and Cleveland's cheap.
Duran apparently going to the Phillies. That's very sad. As we go
Your closer.
on, yeah, we remember all the times we hated Minnesota sports, which are all the times. Yeah, no, it's awful. Einsteinium. Eric, how do you feel about a 7,500 Ohtani? I have zero interest. I don't think he can go beyond 4 innings, no matter what. I think they have zero desire to do it whatsoever. It's probably going to be a while until we get to a place where I actually feel comfortable playing Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, his strikeout projection is like 4.
Yeah. 3.5 is just go bet is over in the strikeout department at a sports book. You'll probably get paid better than what you'll get by rostering a 7,500 Ohtani today. Then you can like have an emotional hedge, if you will. That's a good way to do it.
Totally.
Emotional hedging. That is not financial advice. Just throwing it out there. I'll give you financial advice over at Tails and obviously with my own money that I'm betting every single day, but that is about it. Otherwise, yeah, just emotional hedge life. Sears, that's going to be a no from me, dog. How about you? He's not even on this slate, is he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we're not talking about JP Sears. Jeffrey Springs. You can be my Jeffrey Springs. That's a banger. Dude, if I could go back in time and hook up with any, well, we're not going to have that conversation. Stevie Nicks, glorified babe. Glorified babe.
I respect that.
Pre-cocaine, especially.
I respect it.
Probably not pre. Probably like during cocaine is probably the right answer.
Yeah, I totally respect that answer. I have no issues with that at all.
Yeah. Sabrina Carpenter before Sabrina Carpenter, just a little blonde girl. Oh, weird. I married one of those. Oh, that's strange. Team Eric. Yes, always Team Eric. And then any Junis shares? No. For Cleveland,
No way.
We're not.
No.
We're not playing Jake Junis.
I would play Colorado before I play Junis. I would play Colorado before I'd play Junis.
Man, we are getting crazy. JV,
how about you?
I love my wife. That's the answer.
You love your wife? I'm glad you do.
It's important that you know that.
Good for you guys.
It was her jeans. This is actually a hilarious comment. Have you seen any of the dust up of the American Eagle ad for
I have Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, it's currently on my For You on TikTok right now, so I've seen a little bit.
She has good jeans.
That she does.
I normally don't worry about individual players in a stack, but should I be concerned with Kwon being pinch hit for tonight over trade concerns?
So the easy answer is no. But if there was ever a spot, it's tonight with someone like Kwon. This is the last game before the deadline, and he's clearly could be moved. Doesn't mean he will be moved, but he could be moved. And I wouldn't use him as a one-off, I don't think, to be honest. In a stack, whatever, but I'm not playing him as a one-off. I think he's not a guy I'm playing a lot as a one-off anyways, but you get the point.
I think that is a very fair point. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So I'm not going to try to poo-poo the idea of it, but I just want to let it be known that it's not something that I'm considering whatsoever, because if I did that, I'd have to consider a lot of other people on the slate. There's people everywhere. Just because Stephen Kwon's the name that's got brought up doesn't mean that it can't happen with a lot of other players.
A great point. If you're worrying, we only know about Stephen Kwon because it's out there, but that is an inherent risk for playing MLB the night before the trade deadline. That's a great point.
I skipped him in the 5-man Cleveland. I don't think you're going to be the only one, which is why in single entry, he's in my damn lineup. So rip to me. Him and Mr. Jones and me. Nolan Jones has to be the unluckiest hitter in baseball.
Yeah, he is not having a good year, but his underlying numbers are good, as you just alluded to.
It's just absolutely absurd. How many to sing the Kwon song? That Kwon. I love him. I love Stephen Kwon. Also hits more home runs than you would ever expect for a guy who's priced plus 1,000 and above every single day. But that's neither here nor there. Just leaving money on the table. Let's keep going through some more of our stacks that we like. Again, 12 minutes. Guys, I'm just impressed that we are going to get through this show 40 minutes and not really have any dead air whatsoever, because I think the Athletics are very interesting against Brian Wu. And I think the Sims bared that out why we only got to 20% of him. It's not even a bull sideser. It's just the Athletic side. I know that it's 20% to 14%, but getting 14% of the Athletics, I think we're definitely siding with them in the Sims tool. There's so many hitters in that lineup that just have crazy amounts of upside. Nick Kurtz is going ballistic. Brent Rooker hits a home run when I don't bet him for the first time in a week yesterday. Really don't appreciate that, sir. Had lots of opportunities here with Lawrence Butler and Shea Langoliers and Tyler Soderstrom to actually bink a couple of tournaments if I could get something from them as one-offs. But no, we can't have nice things. You get some savings in Cortez, who seems like he's all right, and Duhar. I mean, his hits props are constantly juiced to the moon. How do you feel about the Athletics?
I just respect Wu more than you do. I totally get it. I don't think they're a bad stack for all the reasons you mentioned. I see more outcomes here where Wu just isn't great and the Athletics don't necessarily rock him than I think the field does. I think the field is kind of on your side, where it's either I want to play Wu or play the A's, and I get that. But I'm cool just sitting that one out. I think Wu is overpriced for this spot, but he's good enough where he's not really a guy I ever want to stack against. If there was a spot, it'd be this one. Small slate. He's getting ownership in Sacramento, et cetera, et cetera. I get it. I just probably won't get there myself.
All right. Eric loves Kwon and Stevie Nicks. There's a threesome for you. Wood. Weather. There's no weather anymore, really. I mean, there's a chance of a pop-up in St. Louis all the time. There's coverage around it. That's what I'm seeing from everybody's favorite source on the planet for this kind of stuff. But I don't really think that I'm going to be factoring it in whatsoever. How about you, Matt?
No, weather looks fine here.
Yeah, looks fine there. Looks fine with just about everything. Again, if you get a pop-up or you get something that shows up, sorry ahead of time, but I feel pretty good about that. And obviously the news god, if you have a Stokastic sub, we'll be keeping you apprised of all the goodness. Can't wait for that one here. Got a disgusting bottom of the order. Oh, yes. 4-4 stack over on FanDuel. New York, Seattle. That was something that I had eyed. I played one lineup over there here as well, and we'll talk about that before we end our program. But looking at the rest of these lineups, Texas, number 3 on the board for me. Seattle, only 6% in the top 150. I find that a little surprising. This is what's really surprising to me, Matt. Out of our top 150, not a single lineup of the Dodgers. And I think it's very easy to understand why. You can't get the best hitter in the lineup by far in Shohei Ohtani. Freddie Freeman hasn't hit a home run since 1948. Actually, it's been since June 29th. I looked up yesterday, but that's neither here nor there, Matt. No Dodgers? Do you have any Dodgers in your lineups tonight?
Probably not. I don't mind them. Like, I think you can stack them without Ohtani, but probably not. I do like Freeman. I think he had 3 hits yesterday. I mean, the home runs will come with him. I get it. He hasn't hit one in a while, but what, are you not playing him because of that? That's foolish.
Stupid. We have AI taking over the world and we can't get Shohei Ohtani. I mean, we've had this conversation for years now. 4 years we've had this conversation. 5 years. Can we just get Shohei Ohtani to get all the fantasy points or none of the fantasy points on this specific day or just something? Like, why can we not have hitter and pitcher Shohei Ohtani? We can't have nice things, Matt. Society's ruined.
It's so bad. It makes no sense.
It's absolutely the worst. Any other stacks that we haven't brought up that are very valuable to you tonight?
Yeah, the 2 I mentioned kind of when I talked about Seattle that I like a lot.
Yep.
Miami and St. Louis. I like both teams in that game. Oh,
man, me too.
Yeah, I mean, both these pitchers stink. Quantrill is so bad against righties. I think that you get an edge like stacking a bunch of the St. Louis righties. They're not going to be owned. I like them a lot here. Both sides. I think I prefer St. Louis a little bit more.
We got the standard in against a lefty lineup here for the Mariners. Looks good. Oh, Canzone's batting 8th. Never mind. We definitely Dominic Canzone batting 8th, left on left. That's a surprise to me. But I mean, Dominic Canzone's just hitting all balls hard. So there's that. He likes getting naughty. Yep.
During trading for the
Phillies. Yep. It's a bummer. Shout out to Fantasy Draft. Only set to ever offer Ohtani in both roles he pitched. Yeah. It's just so annoying, guys. It's so annoying. I think we covered it mostly on the DraftKings side. Let's jump on over to FanDuel. Once again, jumping into the single lineup simulator to talk through it. We'll build out a DK lineup together. We'll give our dongs of the day, and we'll get the heck up out of here. Nice, quick, tight 40-minute show for the people. But on FanDuel, there is one difference. Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is a gigantic difference between the two sites. And as you can see right here, you go to the outfield tab. Sorry, I'll just go to the utility tab. 45% Ohtani. So no matter what you do, can't shake it against Nick Martinez. I mean, you just kind of play him in, you're obviously playing him in cash, but like in tournaments, I still think it's just ridiculous to not fit him into a bunch of your lineups there, even at 4,700. It's not that cost prohibitive. There's really no other expensive bats outside of Cal Raleigh. So I'm looking at the Dodgers as a much more appealing option. The main reason I played the Dodgers over there is I was never going to play them on DK without Ohtani. Does that sound appropriate to you as well, Matt?
Yeah, it does. They look a lot better over there, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't think that's a question.
Any other stack that looks completely different? Because it looks pretty similar. We got the Dodgers. We got Seattle pulling a ton of ownership over there. And then kind of dips down there. The Yankees, Tampa Bay, so many other pieces. Oh, no. Did we get – nope. We got Mick Abel. Oh, that's not who I wanted. That's not who I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, Philly's farm system isn't that good anyways. But still, it's whatever. No, I think it looks kind of like you said, pretty similar. Similar if enough.
Oh, this Abel guy. He had 1 billion strikeouts in his debut, and then everybody realized he's not good. And so that's the guy we're going to try to make work. Great. Another Twins pitcher that I get to hate the absolute living snot out of. Another guy that I think, or another stack, sorry, for FanDuel purposes that I think look a little bit better. St. Louis. St. Louis looks ridiculous, I think, over on FanDuel at the moment. They are the other team that I was kind of like, again, I was toying around with single entry, ended up going with the Seattle side of things, Seattle and New York, and then one off of the St. Louis side of things. But if I were making more lineups, they're playing around 10% ownership. I would be north of that against Cal Quantrill. He must pay for the sins of his family. Anything else you want to discuss on FanDuel, or should we get to some dongs?
Let's get to some dongs.
Oh, yeah, it's time to get dong you with it. No. Can I find it? There it is. Dong on the day. Dong on the day. Emacs in chat. This is creepy. I don't want to sing the song today. There we go. That was a great sell up by me at the end of it here. Matt Bellman, before we get the heck up out of here, and obviously I'll take a couple of questions, and I want to see all of your home runs. Start spewing the chat. Let me know who you think is going yard tonight. Who is your dong of the day?
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. So we're wait. You are playing a Dodger? You're playing Freddie Freeman? You hate me.
I'm not playing him, but I think he goes yard.
That's not the point of the program. That's not what we do here.
I mean, it's not. This is not a DFS like dong who I'm playing in my lineup.
It's literally what it is.
Okay, I didn't realize it was it. I did not realize that.
5 years. 5 years I've been doing that.
Okay, I will change my.
I always give the people what I believe the dong of the day should be. Always. Well, I give either the guy that I'm getting a ton of exposure to that I want to have go yard, or a bet. I'll always kind of specify which, but it's got to be applicable to your lineups or somebody that you bet. No, otherwise you're just saying a name.
Okay. Noted. I mean, I have no issues with that. So I will go with Jordan Walker.
Jordan Walker. Okay. Now you're just acting like you got hit in the head. Like what? Jordan Walker now?
Quantrill's so bad against righties, and I'm going off the board because why not?
We got to have a talk after this. We got to make sure that we understand what the point is. I am very much here for anything against Jeffrey Springs, but he's going to be kind of an equal opportunity guy for me to some extent, especially with Canzone in there now too. I did not expect that, but 164 expected ISO against lefties, 317 xWOBA, 18.5 degree launch angle, has one pitch specifically that is just getting torched up. That fastball, you try to get that by Josh Naylor. Good luck to you. 5 plus 565 basically over on NoVig at the moment. That's a spicy meatball. I really like that one. And I think kind of a contrarian way to build out your Seattle stacks in single entry. So my dong of the day, Josh Naylor. We've got Aaron Hines, Cal Raleigh, very contrarian of you. Casey Leatherwood, red leather, yellow leather. Stowers and Hernandez bombs. We've got Showers double dong. Okay, we'll just, I like Showers. That's funny. Jose Ramirez, Ricardo Nelson, Derek Burbage, LMAO, my guy Smooth. That's not a person hitting a ball. Barnabell, that's a ridiculous home run call. If that comes to fruition, that's like the other day when somebody threw, not Loperfido, is a different person that they threw out there. Another Cal Raleigh, Malakar going Caminero, Steven Leibowitz, Arenado, your lips to God's ears. That would make me happy. Teoscar Hernandez, Ellie De La Cruz from Ram 33. Yeah. We've got Josh Smith from Jeffrey Oren, Miriam Magalanis. That's got to be it. Austin Wells there. Stowers, Eric 20, Trent Grisham for our guy Emac, Pierre, Stowers, Volpe Dong, Frank Hammer. You might get 2 errors to go with it. Rice home run, Artful Dodger. Love that shout out. Batting second today. I think he's a great play. Ryan McMahon, Dong for his new team. He hasn't gone yard yet, but he's hit the ball pretty well here so far. So far, so good for his Yankee tenure. But that is going to do it for MLB Live Before Lock. Another one in the books, 3 down with my guy, Matt Bellman. Go follow him at Fantasy Tips Matt. Any final words for the people as we get out of here?
Always a great time. These sprint shows are fun.
Sprint shows are fun, man. You get in, you have a little fun, you get out, you try to come out alive. If you take life too seriously, you might not make it out alive. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's a classic. Go follow me at Eric Lindquist. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Peace. Best of luck with your MLB DFS lineups tonight.